So let me go ahead and get this out of the way now, because I know some of you are going to ask me or DM me and say, what does your return policy look like, CP? Can I get a sample or a template? And I'm going to do something even better than that for you.
CPTV, you an entrepreneur, I got what you need.
Hey there, my loves. Welcome back to CPTV. I'm CP, and this is the place for aspiring and growing entrepreneurs who want to turn their passions into businesses and their businesses into freedom. Does that sound like you? Well, then you are going to want to come on in, take a look around, and find your place a home, because I want you to subscribe. Every single Tuesday, I'm giving you the strategies and the step-by-step business processes to implement immediately in your business and get to that level of entrepreneurial freedom that you so deserve and desire through processes and systems. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click that bell so you don't miss any of it. And of course, if you like it, then show me. Smash that like button and say more processes CP in the comments below. I just love to hear from you guys and where your mind is at. So, okay. So the past few weeks, we have been focusing on the money processes and systems in your business. And we're going to continue on that path today. Except it is time to talk about the money out stuff. I know it's not really the greatest topic. I mean, after all, the 5 most hated words that any entrepreneur wants to hear is, I want my money back. But the reality is, in business, you will probably hear those words at some point or another, and how you handle those words is going to be critical to your future success and in protecting your brand. So how do you handle refunds, right? What should your refund process and business system be? Well, that's a question that I hear all the time, and it is finally time to talk about it. So let's get to work. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about what a return or refund policy is. In a nutshell, the return and refund policy is an agreement where you basically tell your customers upfront what your process and procedures are for how and if they will get their money back if they happen to ask. And honestly, different types of businesses should have different types of refund policies and practices. I primarily work with coaches, consultants, speakers, product-based online businesses that do digital or tangible products, and nonprofit organizations. So I'm going to give you my 2 cents on each of those types of businesses, because I think I need to address a few basics around your refund process and systems. Now, the first step in being able to issue refunds flawlessly and have an amazing refund process and system in your business is figuring out exactly what your refund and return policy should be. Now, there's a couple of things that should be included in your refund and return policy. And quite honestly, I have different return and refund policies based upon the different services and products that I provide in my business. And you should too. So here it goes for all of you out there, my beloved CPTV audience. Coaches and consultants. Bottom line, no refunds. They are not allowed or advised.
Is that clear? Yes, Drill Sergeant!
You really should be thinking more along the lines of cancellations. And here's why. When you are a coach or a consultant, what you are selling is your intellectual property. So anytime you have a conversation with someone, or you offer advice, or you give them a strategy, you are in essence providing them with your product or service. And it's very, very difficult to get a refund for that. I mean, what do you talk to somebody on the phone for an hour, give them a bunch of advice, and they come back and say, I didn't like that advice. Can I get my money back? No, that makes no sense. It's kind of like ordering a pizza, right? And the guy brings the pizza to your house, you get the pizza, and all of a sudden you decide you want to have a salad. So because you decide you don't want to eat the pizza, you call the pizza place back and say, you know what, I decided I wanted something different. Can I get my money back? right? No, that makes no sense. You gave them the product by being the consultant or the coach. You ultimately gave them the intellectual property and bandwidth of advising them and mentoring them and guiding them. And you did deliver on your end of the bargain. So there's no refunds. Now, most coaching or consulting programs or services that you might provide or contracts that you have, they will probably be more of a monthly type of a deal. So you might have it where someone's paying you on a monthly basis to continue to have calls from you or to receive an actual service. Well, in that instance, then they can cancel because they no longer want to move forward. But there's no going back and getting the money back for what you've already done, which is ultimately why I advise coaches and consultants not to have a refund policy, but to focus more on how you're going to handle cancellations as you continue to deliver your services moving forward. Now, for my speakers out there, it's not really a refund policy. It's just like coaches and consultants. It's more of a cancellation policy. And mine requires 60 days notice by either party. And here's why. When you are doing a speaking engagement or a training, you are actually beginning to deliver your product or service prior to the day of the event, right? You're putting together PowerPoints, you're doing research, you're putting together presentations, you're involving all kinds of things. So even before you actually deliver your speech, you've already begun to deliver that work product. So you can't necessarily get money back when you're unhappy with someone's speech. I mean, they actually did the speech. You might not hire them again, but there's no refunds. But I do have a 60-day cancellation policy that in essence says that if someone else cancels, if the other party cancels, and I'm still living up to my end of the bargain and they try to do it, then I don't have to give them any money back, but I won't necessarily move forward and do the speaking engagement. But if I, on the other hand, as the speaker cancel with less than 60 days notice, then I have to refund any deposits that they've ultimately given me. So that is kind of how speakers should really do it. Don't think of it as a refund. Think of it more as a cancellation of you doing the speech, and also making sure that that cancellation notice is within a certain number of days, because you could have booked that space and foregone actually doing other speaking engagements and making more money because you reserved that date for them. But you've probably already put together your entire presentation if it's less than 30 days out. And so you've actually done the work, and you should get paid for doing that work. Now, for my product-based online businesses, whether you're doing digital products or tangible products, this is where it gets good. And I really have some tips for you. Okay, so first things first, you should definitely make sure that you address how many days they have to get a refund. This is a real refund policy, whether it's a full refund or a partial refund or both. You want to include that in yours. You need to be very specific with how long they have to request that refund. You also need to talk about how they will receive that refund. I mean, are you going to give them their cash back, or are you going to credit back their credit card, or are you just simply going to give them a store credit where they can use their money for something else at a later time at your store? Also, make sure that you tell them in your policy if they have to return any physical products or materials that they are requesting a refund for. Do you want them to send it back? And what condition do you want that to come back to you in? So if you're selling items or clothing, do you want them to send it back before you actually will give them their money? So you'll get it when I receive it. And also, who's going to pay for the shipping of that returned product, and so on and so forth. So you see, you need to create that actual policy if that's the category that you're in. The second most important thing is, once you develop that refund or return policy, to make sure that it is clearly displayed wherever your product or service is being purchased. So for instance, with my coaching, consulting, and speaking guys, it's embedded in my contractual language and my service agreements exactly what the cancellation policy looks like, right? In my online products, for instance, my refund policy is everywhere. It's on the checkout page, it's in my frequently asked questions section, it's on my help desk, and it is broken out by product, because I want everyone to know before they move forward with making a purchase from me what happens if they request a refund. And the third thing you have to do is have a well thought out, documented internal refund process. Yes, I'm going back to documentation, y'all. So make sure that you grab your free guide telling you how to do that with the SOP template. The link to it is in the description in the comments below. And you're probably asking, what do I mean? And I did a whole video on it, so we'll go ahead and link to that right now. But let me walk you through kind of what my refund process includes, okay? So first, my refund process for CP brands is a 8-step process. And I've broken out these 8 steps very specifically because it makes sure that we are able to issue refunds, and that's specifically as it relates to our online digital products, within 1 to 2 business days. So some of the steps include a refund request being received. It has to go to a specific email box for my team. And then we review the client profile to determine the date of purchase and what they purchased and what the refund amount is and what the payment method was. And actually, what we find, we document. Then we compare those findings with the product refund policy, and we confirm that the policy requirements have been met. We go through a couple of other steps, and then ultimately we send the client the refund approval process update. We copy our finance team, and we actually go into our system, our Stripe system, and issue that refund. So you get where I'm going with that, don't you? Good. I am so glad that you got that, because the process that you create for refunds is just as important as the policy. But that process is really going to be internal, and you want to create one that gives you the opportunity to get things done quickly and well. So let me go ahead and get this out of the way now, because I know some of you are going to ask me or DM me and say, what does your return policy look like, CP? Can I get a sample or a template? And I'm going to do something even better than that for you. I'm going to send you to my one-stop shop for compliance solutions, and that is Termly.io. Termly allows you to go in and build custom refund policies, your terms and conditions, all kinds of policies, especially if you are a business that can do business with people from various states and other countries like I am. I could not possibly give you an example of all of my refund policies because it may not apply to your business, and I don't want you applying the wrong thing in the wrong places. And I don't want you to think that it actually does. But in the description below, I'm going to go ahead and include a link to Termly.io. And I want you to go ahead and check it out, because that's what I use for all of my help. And it's an amazing tool for creating all kinds of the compliance stuff and legal and return policy stuff that you need if you're an online business. They can even help you get that little cookies acceptance compliance thing going on your website that you're seeing. So go ahead and check it out, as well as all the other stuff that you might need. So please make sure you check out that link, and you'll be able to go there and get that sample that you are looking for. Okay, this is video 4 in our Business Process Lab series. What did you think? Tell me below in the comments, but make sure that you subscribe too, because this is just the beginning. Like I said, for the next few weeks, we are going to be focusing on knocking your business processes and system documentation and creation out in 2021 for your scalability. And we will be diving into more processes and systems, because that's what we do around here, y'all, okay? So if you are hella pumped about that, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe in that little bubble right next to me. All you gotta do is click on my face so you can actually check in next week and every single week after that. And don't forget to share this video with someone else that you know needs to work on their business processes and their systems, okay? And make sure that you grab that free guide to creating business processes that scale with an SOP template so that you can get started mapping this stuff out. And until next time, my love, I want you to stay safe, stay warm. Bye-bye.
Entrepreneur, I got what you need.
Mwah! I almost forgot.